my beautiful little unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. And if this is the first time that you're on my channel, my name is Vanessa Somuayina and I am a tarot reader, author, and tarot deck creator here on YouTube. And I am so excited for us to figure out today what your romantic life's inevitable destiny is going to be. And in case this is the first pick a card tarot reading that you're tuning into, allow me to explain to you precisely how this psychic prediction works. I will shortly introduce you to these 4 groups that I have prepared for you, and I would like you to pick one of these groups intuitively, which means that you should pick whichever one of these groups that you naturally feel drawn towards. And if you're having any trouble connecting with a group or choosing a group, you can either tune into multiple readings if you absolutely cannot make up your mind, or download the free PDF that I've got on my website, bowlife.com. It comes with some tips on how to pick the right group for you, as well as a crystal cleansing guide. Another helpful tip to pick the right group is to look around the room or the space that you're currently in, and whichever number from 1 to 4 that you see first, go with that number when it comes to choosing the right group for you. But now allow me to introduce you to the 4 groups that will help us uncover your romantic life's inevitable destiny. Group number 1 corresponds to the Sacred Feminine Oracle deck. Group number 2 corresponds to the Dark Heart Tarot deck. Group number 3 corresponds to the Wandering Star Tarot, and group number 4 corresponds to the Shamanic Medicine Oracle deck. But the timestamps to all 4 of these groups can be found down below in the description box and pinned to the top of the comment section. That way you've got quick and easy access from any of your devices. All you need to do is click your group and you will be fast forwarded to the relevant part of this video where you will receive your psychic prediction. And furthermore, if you are looking for some more exclusive psychic content, my Patreon is linked below in the description box, and so are all of my tarot and oracle deck publications. But now I will provide you with a little moment of privacy so you can meditate on these 4 groups, and then I'll be right back to guide you into your readings. Alright, so by now you've hopefully been able to select one of these 4 groups. I will be starting off with the Sacred Feminine Oracle deck, so if this is the group that you chose, then please continue watching. And to all of my other beautiful groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your prediction about your romantic life's inevitable destiny. You chose the Sacred Feminine Oracle, which is this beautiful pink and gold deck, to help guide you and to help us figure out precisely what messages are meant for you when it comes to your romantic life's future. So let's see precisely what you need to know, and of course what your romantic life's inevitable destiny is. In case this is the first time that you're on my channel, my name is Vanessa Somuayina. I am a tarot reader, intuitive, as well as an author of several tarot and oracle decks, and I can't wait to guide you into your romantic life's future. So first up, we've got healer. I can see here that what is inevitably going to happen romantically in your future is a lot of healing of the heart, especially if you have gone through a lot of trauma and heartbreak, heartache. I want you to know that your time of healing and recuperation is coming, group number 1. You are not meant to be in any type of relationship with someone who either doesn't know how to keep your heart whole or constantly shatters it into a million pieces. In healer, I can also see that your inevitable romantic destiny has to do with you doing the same for another person. This is all about reciprocity. So when you are in a stable, committed relationship, you also give the person that you're with healing energy. You also give them reassurance, empathy, and compassion. Next up, we've got guide. So I do see here that when it comes to your romantic life's inevitable destiny, you will be guided in a certain direction or towards a certain path, also of healing, of taking care of others. This could mean that within your romantic destiny, you are taking care of your person's feelings. The person that you're with may struggle with, for example, eating healthily. They may at some point have a wound or a broken bone, and you are the one helping to nurse them back to health. And in guide, I can see that you have a plan on how they can get better anytime that they're feeling low or down or they've got an ailment. So I see that you're also meant to be the planner and the head of the family, so to say, should you choose to start a family or continue a family in the future. I can see here within inspiring that you're meant to be kind of the focal point of any relationship setting. You are a very inspiring person, and you're meant to be the one whose destiny is to push others to do better. That when they see you, they see what's possible, they see where you started and where you are now. And it allows for others to have hope and belief that things can get better, that they can accomplish the goals that they've set for themselves, both privately as well as professionally. Next up, we've got the Seven of Earth reversed, which does show me here that your inevitable romantic destiny is also to realign chakras that are out of whack and out of balance. So should you have children, or if you already have children, you're teaching them from an early age how to be grounded, how to meditate, how to practice self-care. I can definitely see that you are a guide for grounding energy, for calming energy, and this is often the case for people who have struggled with anxiety or ADHD, overall being very hyperactive. They often take this path a lot more seriously. So if this is something that you've dealt with, group number one, if these symptoms of being very nervous and overthinking, anxious, even procrastinating as well, often there comes a point where from feeling like you're the one suffering from these things, you actually become the guide once you've given yourself time to heal, and you become the inspiration, the source of belief, of hope for others as you turn your life around, and you do it even better than the people who are maybe naturally more calm or had a more stable environment to grow up in compared to the things that you had to deal with. Next up here, we've got the Six of Earth for you. So within the Six of Earth, we clearly have, romantically speaking, your destiny with someone who is very healthy and who takes care of themselves physically and mentally. This helps you become your best version, your highest self, and it helps you to stay healthy for a very long time. So your romantic life and destiny is one where you take care of one another for little ailments, but you don't have to worry that either you or your long-term partner is going to fall sick of lack of taking care of yourselves. I see that self-care and your health is one of the most important things. And if you've gone through a phase of being very materialistic or placing a lot of value on wearing certain brands or certain just items that elevate your social status, these are all things that love is teaching you to not care so much about. And we do have a depiction of the person that you might end up with here within the Six of Earth, which is someone who is pretty defined, maybe has a bit more of a quote-unquote free-spirited appearance with longer hair, facial hair. They have a very intense glare and a very strong head. They're very strong-minded. That's one thing that I can see here within the Six of Earth. And this is something to take into account that also inspires you every single day. So when it comes to your romantic life's inevitable destiny, you are a source of inspiration, but you also feel inspired by who you're with. Next up, within faith, I want you to know that you will need to have faith that, romantically speaking, what's best and meant for you is going to happen and take place. To not question or overthink whether you will find the one or whether your romantic destiny even comes with a soulmate or twin flame relationship that's meant to last for a lifetime. There's a reason why there are so many people who speak of law of attraction, and that you need to kind of stop thinking about someone constantly or focusing your energy on them in order to attract them, because that is a source of them feeling as though you're desperate or you so badly need them, and that pushes people away. So just have faith and focus on yourself in order to create your romantic life's inevitable destiny of a partnership that is equal and a partnership where you can tell you're with someone who allows you to be better and who brings you to the best version of yourself rather than someone who stresses you out or who makes you overthink. Next up, we've got the Father for you. Know that your romantic life's inevitable destiny is with someone who has very authoritative energy. You may almost say zaddy energy, daddy energy. And I want you to know that this just speaks to them planning ahead. They are someone who is very responsible. They're most likely also quite a bit older than you are, at least biologically speaking. And this is someone who is dependable and you can count on. I want to find out precisely how many years you're apart with this person. Okay, we've got 2 for you right here. So biologically speaking, you may only be 2 years apart, but mentally they just seem a lot older than they actually are. They are an old soul. I also want to look into what we can see for some placements when it comes to this person. So we've got the moon here for you, and we've got again this repetition, as you can see here within the Father card, like in the 6 of Earth, of this longer hair, a bit more of a free-spirited appearance. But nevertheless, this person is really great with financial planning and with making sure that they're leading a lifestyle that is healthy and as close to nature or natural as possible. So I was going to get into some placements for you. Let's see what moon sign we've got for your person. Okay, so here within their moon sign, we've got Capricorn. Let me just zoom in for you. Here we go, group number 1. So we've got Capricorn in their moon sign, which is a very kind of ambitious energy. This is an energy of being responsible, like we already said, very economical and disciplined as well. This person can sometimes struggle to be very sensitive or to understand emotion. So that's maybe your stronger suit, group number 1, and an area in which you kind of excel in a lot more than them. I also want to add some letters in their name into your reading so you can see with whom your romantic life's inevitable destiny is going to play out with. Okay, so we already have one letter that popped right out. We've got W as well as S when it comes to their initials. I want to add one more letter. So we've got F as well. So these are the important letters within their name, group number 1. But now let's continue into your prediction, shall we? So we can figure out more details about your romantic life's inevitable destiny. So first up, we've got ask for help from others. I can see that what's going to happen is that you will be asking for some help from people around you when your romantic life plays out. This could be because you are asking, for example, parents or friends to help you babysit. It could also be that you are just very well connected with your future spouse's or partner's family. So you're not afraid to ask them for help when it comes to cleaning, reorganizing, moving homes as well. This is an environment, romantically speaking, where you are destined to feel comfortable and safe enough to ask for help rather than feeling like you are a burden. It feels like a safe space where you can say what it is that you need and want, and that helps you to actually take more action, because the more you feel comfortable to ask for help and to just get the ball rolling, the more comfortable that you actually are with taking action, with getting things done, right? Because you don't feel like shame or guilt gets in the way of saying and doing things. Within There's Something Better, I can see here that you will turn a corner for your romantic destiny when you feel like you just know there's something better out here. Group number 1, if you're currently in a situationship or you're even in a relationship, a marriage, a partnership, and this can be one that you've been in for a long or short amount of time. It doesn't matter really how long the time frame is, but you have this feeling like there is something better out there, like you can do better, like somehow this is maybe not the right person for you. Like your dream person is still out there if you're very honest with yourself. This doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't mean that who you're with isn't great in themselves. They could be an amazing person, but this just means that you know that in order to really romantically follow your destiny and be with the person who you inevitably will end up with anyways, you have to let go of any relationship that just isn't 100% it, where you're still feeling like there's something better out there, and like in a way you're compromising, or you're just not quite getting what you want or getting what you need out of the connection. Here within judgment, it is so important that you don't judge yourself for thinking there's something better out there. It's so easy to kind of get in your head and feel like a bad person, all because you know within your heart and your intuition that something is a little off, or just something isn't 100% right about the connection that you are currently pursuing or that you are currently in. I want you to understand within judgment that sometimes we can kind of talk ourselves out of leaving someone because it's so comfortable, or we're used to it, or we feel bad about breaking up. Also, the fear of being alone, not knowing if you've made a mistake or how long it will take to find that perfect person. But group number one, you are being called to be brave when it comes to your romantic life's inevitable destiny. You are meant to be in a fully fulfilling relationship where you don't feel like you bring way more to the table than the person that you're with. You're meant to also get inspiration from your romantic partner. You're meant to also feel very lucky and like you have found the best one, like there's nothing better out there. So know here within the Ace of Swords that when you have that epiphany, that spiritual enlightenment, that is when your life's inevitable romantic destiny will start to bring you together with your soulmate and the person that you're meant to be with forever. But you have to have that aha moment of realizing that if you feel anything short of madly in love and obsessed with the person, if you feel anything short of being very lucky and very cared for and very considered, then it is not the right connection for you. Inevitably, your destiny, romantically speaking, is to be in a strong, solid connection with someone who not only takes action themselves, but also allows you to heal and helps you on your healing journey. Someone who doesn't just drain you. So know that within the devil, we've got this message of temptation, of staying in a comfortable spot, even though maybe it's not meant to be your romantic destiny. So try to avoid this. If you needed a sign or you needed that extra push, group number one, to let you make the right decision to leave someone who's not treating you well, who's maybe even physically doing things to you that are wrong in every way, anyhow you spin it or turn it, this is your sign, this is your calling. This is your encouragement to free yourself, as we spoke about here in the devil, to not be tempted to downplay your worth and your value and the fact that you can find someone, and you will find someone who is meant for you and who will treat you like you are the prize, who will treat you like a deserving human being that you are, group number one. Next, within the Eight of Wands, we've got very quick movement. As soon as you let go of relationships and bonds and connections that aren't right, you will see that things will move forward very quickly and rapidly in the right direction. But you've got to have faith, and sometimes we can tell ourselves, yeah, we have faith or we believe that we'll find the right one. Do you really though, group number one? Because there's a difference between saying it and really feeling it and meaning it and having faith in that being the truth for you. So ask yourself how honest that you are with yourself about the feelings that you have towards your romantic life and where your romantic life is headed, really. And ask yourself whether you can maybe work on believing a little more that inevitably you're meant to be in a relationship where there's no second guessing. We've got the Page of Pentacles in reverse for you. So I want you to understand that we've got a lot of this earth sign energy, right? We had earth here within this card. Within these 3 cards, we've got very earthy energy, even within faith in the Father. We've got very earthy kind of energy, a lot of greens. Now the Page of Pentacles is basically the page of the element of earth, as the Suit of Pentacles corresponds to the element of earth. So here within the Page of Pentacles reversed and having their moon in Capricorn, we have this earth sign energy that brings a lot to the relationship, but I also see that for your romantic life's inevitable destiny, you're meant to be with a very grounded person, maybe an earth sign in particular. The most important thing about this individual is that you feel safe and that you feel like you've got someone that you can count on. Otherwise, there will always be something better out there, and there will always be this feeling that you made a mistake. And the Five of Cups here shows me that in the past, you have already wasted a little too much time in a connection and a relationship with someone who did not give you that stability, who did not commit in the way that you needed to fully bloom and blossom. And that is what we're walking away from, group number 1. That is what we are ending and leaving behind in the past, because you deserve so much better and you can do so much better. Here within the 3 of Cups, I can see you having an amazing time. I can see you celebrating. I can see you meeting the person with whom your romantic destiny is inevitably going to play out with in the outside world. So meaning while you're maybe in a cafe or restaurant, it could be a concert as well, just in an outside space in public. You will most likely be introduced to them by an acquaintance or a friend, because one thing that I can definitely see here is that you are meant to be with someone that just kind of runs in a similar circle as you do. If you have this feeling that there's something better out there, which means you're not with them right now, know that you don't know them yet and you have yet to meet them. And I see here within the 10 of Wands that what needs to happen in order for your romantic life to inevitably go in a positive direction, you definitely just have to let go of what doesn't inspire you, or of a relationship that is holding you back, that is slowing you down, that is anchoring you to a spot you did not choose to be anchored to. That could be in a relationship where you're always going through the same arguments and fights and cycles. It can also, of course, mean that the person is quite literally anchoring you down by being financially irresponsible, and therefore you guys can never move, you can never purchase a home together, you can never just excel economically. And these are all things that you cannot change and that are not your job to make someone better at. No, here within the Queen of Cups, this is a symbol and an instant message from your guides to me to tell me, hey, you're dealing with someone who is very compassionate and empathetic. So group 1, I understand why you have belief that the person you're with can do better, will do better, and wants to do better. And where this comes from is from this place of you being like that. You are the type of person who tries their best. You are the type of individual who will go the extra mile for another person, who will try to change for the better, to improve, to do as much as they can in order to make a relationship that is important work. However, group 1, sometimes we need to be honest with ourselves that not everyone is like that. And sometimes we need to be honest enough with ourselves to also find the strength to simply walk away from individuals that are not ready or willing to improve and to grow as much as we are. And this is not to judge anybody, but some people grow more than others in their lifetime, in their short lifespan that they've got here on planet Earth. And we see that by some people accomplishing a lot of their dreams, whether that's fame, money, creating art, living peacefully ever after in a tiny house in a forest. Whatever that goal is, some people somehow accomplish it, and others just speak about their dreams for their entire existence. Now, there's a big difference between those who end up accomplishing and doing and those who don't. And group 1, for you, I see that you are a doer, a healer, a inspiration like we spoke about, and it's important that you're with someone likewise. Otherwise, you will spend too much of your life trying to drag someone up a hill when you could have already peaked and you could have already been on your way to the next summit. Now, here within the Hanged Man, it's all about perspective. It's all about also reminding yourself, if you have quote unquote wasted time in a relationship before you really had the courage to make the step to leave, see it as a learning lesson and as an opportunity that you had to test your strength and your courage, and to take the leap of faith to say that you're done here and you know you can do better, and have that kind of self-confidence and belief to do it. And that means that you had to genuinely believe that there's something better out there for you. If not, you wouldn't have had the courage to do something and to step away from a relationship that wasn't working for you. And I can see here within the Hierophant that on a spiritual level, you are the type of person who is meant to be in an enlightening relationship, in a relationship where you can talk about God, the world, all types of religions, literally everything under the sun, without feeling like you have to pick and choose. Maybe you are a spiritual person with religious tendencies, maybe not at all, group number one, but you are the type of person who kind of understands different spiritualities, different religions, different orientations, also centrally that people have. You're a very live and let live type of individual who is also extremely interested in everything that people on planet Earth believe, why they do so, and you are the type of person who will also try things, maybe meditation. Maybe one time you've looked into some spiritual scriptures. It could be something like a Bible, for example. Even if you're not someone who is religious, you are interested in seeing what the hype is about. You're interested in why people turn out the way that they do. And I see within the Magician that you are most likely also someone who knows a lot about psychology or can read a lot into other people's behavior. And romantically speaking, you are destined to inevitably be with someone who is very mature when it comes to their emotions, who can express them, and with whom you can also talk about things such as how to better react, how to not have the same arguments and the same fights in the same way. And I can see here within the King of Coins that responsibility and just overall being someone who has a good head on their shoulder, that is the most attractive thing to you and who you're meant to be with. We already spoke about a lot of earth sign energy. The King of Coins is basically the king of earth, as the suit of coins corresponds to the element of earth. This is actually a feminine element. This is an element that is connected to emotions and that is very protective over assets. So finances, money, the home, making sure that the home is in good shape and is appropriately insured. These are all things that your romantic partner inevitably brings with them. The King of Swords shows me are also an amazing communicator. They're not afraid to say exactly what they want or to fight for their money and their right. Your person has a sharp tongue, but mostly when it comes to business and business deals. So this is the type of person that you're destined to be with. And the Four of Swords here shows me that actually this really allows you to bond, because you are not the type of person who likes to even call strangers on the phone, let alone try to kind of negotiate with people about prices and get mad or get worked up. That is just not the role that you ever want to play. It just makes you deeply uncomfortable. But for the person that you're destined to be with, they're good at haggling, at negotiating, and at any type of business dealings. Even with shady people, they can handle it. Not that they will engage in anything shady themselves, but they're just the type of person who knows how to deal in those situations. And the Ten of Swords here shows me that you're meant to finally have rest. And why you're meant to have this is because it was almost too late. You were at one point in a relationship, in a connection in your life where you were so stressed. Maybe you even had life-ending thoughts. You fell into a depression, a lot of anxiety and stress, and you just knew you can't do this again. You are too old for this. You are too cute for this, group number one, to be honest with you. And it is just so important that you're not in a relationship that stresses you out and that brings you nothing but headache and heartache. This is just absolutely not meant to be that situation. I see that you are done with it. The fresh chapter has to be growth and forward movement, like we've got here in the Eight of Crystals, which is essentially the same as the Eight of Wands, just from my Gentle Heart Tarot deck. Yeah, you heard right, group number 1. This is the first deck that I ever published. As you can see, it has these beautiful rose gold details everywhere. And the Eight of Crystals definitely shows freedom and forward movement, which is what this bird symbolizes, as well as lightness. We've got the cloud, even through uncertainty, which is what the cloud is all about. Being able to push forward, to take steps forward, and to be unafraid of things sometimes happening very rapidly, because that can often just be a symbol of gaining momentum, right? Of going in the right direction. When things move quickly, it's not necessarily a negative thing. It doesn't necessarily just always mean now it's time to slow down. Sometimes when things move quickly, it's time for you to just keep up. Next up, we've got the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups. So this is inevitably how your relationship is going to be set up. The Suit of Cups is a suit of emotions and connects to the element of water, and it represents being very close emotionally speaking. So understanding each other's needs, having the same love languages, and knowing precisely how to express love in a way that the other person can receive it and can really feel it. Because there's no point in loving another person or saying how much you love them if all of your actions just don't really reflect love with them, because they're unable to receive it because it's just very far removed from their love language. Think to yourself, if someone's love language is quality time and you make no time for them, but you try to make up for it by giving them gifts, which is what some parents are also forced to do. It's not always because the person doesn't want to spend time, but sometimes they just compensate. But that person who's on the receiving end won't feel the love. They won't really feel like they matter as much as if quality time was invested, because it's just not their love language. So it just doesn't gel with them. So I see that you are destined to be romantically in a relationship where love languages are either the same, or you understand them so well that you speak it fluently, and that you know precisely how to give your person what they need so they can feel loved and understood, especially in moments of friction. There's always just so much healing, so much growing and understanding. So rather than your relationship having little cracks and needing band-aids over scars and cuts every time you have an argument or a disagreement, actually your relationship is meant to grow stronger, more profound, more mature, and more understanding of one another. So you are, romantically speaking, meant and destined to be in a very long-term partnership, and destined to be in one that gets better over the years. So my gorgeous souls of group 1, if you made it all the way to the end of your reading, please do leave a heart emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you belong to group number 1. For all of you who always ask me where my crystal rings are from, they are linked below in the description box. I've got adjustable ones as well as fixed sizes. So whether you know your specific ring size or you're not sure, I've got high quality crystal rings for any of the categories that you may belong to. If you felt safe in this space and you enjoyed vibing with me, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That way you will never miss another psychic reading. And of course, check out my Instagram or my Patreon for more content. So my gorgeous souls of group number 1, I'd like to thank you for spending this divine time and space with me. And I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, group number 2. Welcome to your prediction about your romantic life's inevitable destiny. Now, you chose the Dark Heart Tarot deck in order to help guide you. My name is Vanessa Somuayina. I'm also the author of the Dark Heart Tarot deck, which I will leave linked below in the description box. And I am going to be conducting your reading today based on the cards and the messages that we're receiving, as well as intuitive messages that I am channeling for you. So let's get straight into your prediction, group number 2, so we can figure out precisely what is inevitably coming towards your romantic life. So first up, we've got the 7 of Blades Blades that popped right out of the pile, as well as the Page of Blades. Now, what we've got in common here with these two cards is that they both belong to the Suit of Blades. And the Suit of Blades is basically the suit of swords, as you can see, which corresponds to the element of air. It represents air sign energy. The element of air is the element of communication, of your mental realm, and I see here within the Seven of Blades that your romantic life is going to give you a lot of great ideas for other areas of life. So whoever you're with in the long term is going to inspire you to do better in all areas of your existence. And I see here with the Page of Blades that you will be with someone who's teaching you a lot. Romantically, your destiny is to be with someone who is mature, someone who has a good deal of life experience, and who always wants to show you how you can do better and where they can support you. So if you're, for example, someone who has their own business, whether you are a creative or you work a 9 to 5, I want you to know that romantically you are meant to be with someone that uplifts you, that shows you how you can make the most of your career and your life, and vice versa. You too inspire them, you give them kind of youthful, fun, joyful energy that they otherwise may struggle to get. Next up, within the Ace of Crystals, I can see a lot of creative inspiration flowing from your love life. I see here within the Ace of Crystals, you bring a lot to the table. One may even say you are the table, group number 2, and you are the type of person that is always sharing ideas with others, especially if you are in a committed romantic relationship with another person. I see here within the Page of Pentacles that you are meant to build with someone. The page shows someone who is young, inexperienced, maybe even a little naive, and they're just building their financial foundation and security. They're purchasing homes, they're purchasing investments, different ways of just securing themselves also for old age, etc. And financially, I see here that your romantic future is meant to push this, is meant to make this better, is meant to give you ideas on how you can be smarter and also work smarter instead of just harder. So whoever you're with is a true teammate. And I see here that your romantic destiny has a lot to do with your life's destiny. It has to help you on your path to becoming the best version of yourself. If you're not with someone who's helping you do that, it's most likely not going to last very long. Next up, we've got the Wheel of Fortune. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is a card that represents the highs and the lows, but mostly luck as well as fate being at play. So there are certain things that you will be able to steer, but just by default, your romantic destiny is a pretty lucky one. It's inevitably going to be filled with a lot of surprises that you didn't expect, but that bring a lot of excitement into your romantic life. Next up here within the Knight of Wands, I can see for you, group number 2, that you are meant to be with somebody who is very driven and very creative. Got a lot of red here within this card, so this is someone who is very passionate, someone who isn't afraid to express their needs, also behind closed doors, if you know what I mean. And we've got some masculine energy. We've got a lot of phallic symbols so far. We had the Ace of Crystals, which is a masculine symbol. We had the Page of Blades, the Seven of Blades, and now the Knight of Wands. These are all masculine charged cards, energetically speaking. And then, of course, in the Page of Pentacles, we've got more feminine energy, and the Wheel of Fortune also represents a wheel which is round. So we've got 4 points that are masculine versus 2 points that are feminine up until this point in your reading, which definitely shows that your romantic life's inevitable destiny is to conquer, to live a life that is full of experiences and memories, especially that people are going to remember you for. So you are definitely going to make history with whoever you're with. You are meant to be in a romantic situation where people remember you as a quote-unquote power couple. As much as I dislike that word, I just think it really describes your romantic destiny. And the Six of Cups is representative of how much you are giving, how much you are providing in this world through your romantic life. You are meant to be in a partnership with someone where you are putting value out into the world. So you are both teachers, for example, or you do a lot of philanthropic work together. You help out within your community. You may even adopt a child or a dog, a pet, at some point in time with this person. Either way, here the Six of Cups shows that you understand that it's important that you build with everyone around you and you don't just look out for yourself. So you and the person you end up with are very caring, and it's important for you that if you're doing well, that everyone around you is also doing well. The Ten of Blades shows me that your romantic destiny also shows that you're just over certain people and certain behaviors, and there's no resurrection. It is finished. And I want you to know with certain behaviors, what is meant is, for example, frenemies who pretend like they want the best for you in your relationship, but then maybe like flirt with your partner or kind of go behind your back and say things about you that aren't true or make up rumors about your relationship. And I want you to understand here in the Ten of Blades that that just doesn't have any space within your sphere, nor are you going to feel pressure to make space for that. Even if it is like extended family or a coworker, you are simply just not even going to accept that. I see here within the Ace of Swords that what we also have for you is a lot of new and fresh ideas that are coming when it comes to your career and how you can do more in this world, how you can leave more of a mark. Now, the Ace of Swords does also indicate that you've got a lot of confidence going for you. And I see here that your romantic life's inevitable destiny is to slay, basically. That's why we have so many phallic symbols. Again, we've got blades, we've got swords, here we've got wands. So right now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 phallic symbols and 1, 2, 3 symbols that are not representative of phallic energy. So 3 that are feminine and 7 which are masculine. The Eight of Wands is indicative of getting things done, as you can see here. There are a lot of different things going on. Everything is moving very quickly. The Suit of Wands is the Suit of Fire, which is about your creativity. And there's a lot going on. You feel very empowered to lean into your creative ventures, and you feel very empowered, even though things are moving quickly, to just keep the pace going, to keep the heat on, so to say. And this is an amazing thing to see for your romantic destiny and romantic future, because it shows that you're not just physically attracted to your person and they are not just physically into you. The relationship that you are going to have goes way deeper. Now, the Three of Blades here shows me that this person comes out after a time of a lot of heartache. The relationship that is inevitably meant to be your destiny comes after a time where you feel betrayed, where someone did you dirty and maybe cheated, even lied, tried to cover it up, and then gaslit you into you feeling like you shouldn't have said something. And that's where we've also got more masculine energy here with the Eight of Wands. So you have learned to have a little bit of extra masculine energy, because you understand that if you don't protect yourself, that sometimes even people close to you might hurt you or might disappoint you. So you've become very aware of that through what you've been through. And I see that your romantic life's inevitable destiny comes after a difficult time, a challenging time, but that's where also the Wheel of Fortune comes into play, because whenever things are down, they will eventually come back up, and they will most likely stay up for longer than they're staying down for you, because the Wheel of Fortune is also indicative of good fortune. The Two of Blades shows me here that you've got your eyes tied up, group number 2, and you have to make your decisions based on intuition, not based on what you see or even what you hear. You have to make decisions based on whether they feel right or not. And it's important in the Two of Blades for you to bear in mind that even under pressure, making decisions based on your intuition is probably the best thing that you can learn, a very valuable life lesson that your guides want to bring to you at this point in time, and one to remind you is so helpful for your future. So try as much as you can to connect with your intuition and to learn to strengthen it. And group number 2, using crystals and also wearing crystals is a great way to do that. That's why I always wear so many crystal rings, earrings, and necklaces, because they protect me, my heart, everything. And furthermore, we have judgment here within your reading. I want you to know that it also helps you to feel protected from judgment, not just from others, but also from yourself, because sometimes we are our own worst critic. And that is one thing that you're being called out for, group number 2. Your romantic life's inevitable destiny seems to be pretty positive from what we've seen so far within your prediction. You're meant to grow, you're meant to be with someone with whom you can build an empire and with whom you're going to make history with. But here in Judgment, I see that you sometimes feel like you don't deserve it, or like you're not good enough for it. Like this is just a role that wasn't meant for you. We have another card that popped out of the pile. Let me just pick it up for you, group 2. This was the Sun. The Sun is actually one of the most favorable cards of the entire tarot. Just FYI, group number 2, this is what the Sun looks like. It shows warmth, generosity, joy, but also a strong family bond, a strong family unit. So I definitely want you to know here within the Sun that when it comes to your romantic life, it is all predestined to be positive, to be warm, to be filled with love, but you steer a lot of it, and it's important that you allow it and that you let yourself be loved, that you let yourself be comfortable amidst the fact that there are a lot of opportunities for self-deprecating thoughts, but it just takes some practice to get there, to fully feel comfortable. Next up, we've got the 7 of Cups, which shows some temptation. This definitely shows that you are someone who's tempting to others physically. You have this charm. You are a good-looking individual, believe it or not, group number 2, and I want you to know here that a lot of people see you as an option for someone to be with in the long term. A lot of people see you as someone that they could only dream of having a relationship with. Next, within the 2 of Pentacles, I see that it will be a bit of a balancing act that you are coping with very gracefully, your romantic life and your romantic destiny, as well as your career. So kind of doing it all, kind of like, you know, when we have career moms who are killing it at their job, but also doing so many things at home and with their children. That doesn't mean that they don't have any help or that they can't ask for any help, but they are holding a lot of the weight. They are planning. They're doing it so gracefully. Sometimes it almost seems so natural and effortless that you ask yourself, how this is even possible. And that is what I see here for your romantic destiny, group number 2. You are meant to be one of those super moms or super dads, one of those super parents who can deal with things at home. So make sure that when it comes to their career, that they're not slacking and that you're still slaying. Next up, we've got the Child. So inevitably, your romantic life's destiny holds a child, at least one, here within your future. And I want you to know here that even if right now this is not something that you're looking into, or you already have a lot of children, here within a child, it is inevitable that there will be at least one more that's coming towards you, at least one more that you're taking of, where you're gracefully doing the splits between being a human being as well as a superhuman who does amazingly well in their career, picks up the kids or the kid from school, from kindergarten, then moves on to prepare dinner, prepare lunch, bring them to extracurricular activities, cleans the house, does the laundry, everything. You're doing it gracefully and with strength. And every time you show yourself you can do it, the stronger you get physically and mentally. Next up, we've got this body-mind connection. So your romantic life's inevitable destiny is to foster a very healthy and strong mind-body connection, where you also understand that if you want to be the best version of yourself for those around you, especially children, then you have to be that best version for yourself too. You have to eat right, you have to work out, and it sounds like it's all too much for someone to handle, but bear in mind here that we choose how we spend our days. A lot of us spend a lot of time watching Netflix, scrolling our Instagram or Facebook feeds or YouTube feeds, watching YouTube videos, and just kind of wasting time, so to say. I know it's relaxing, or it can be seen as recreational, but so is going for a walk and you'd get a little workout in, so to say. So is, for example, reading a book, and you can better understand yourself or others, or learn a new skill because you are gaining knowledge. Also, just taking a nap rather than watching TV for 2 hours. Why don't you just nap for 45 minutes and you'll feel way more energized than if you watched TV just to kind of distract yourself, because it can still be draining depending on what type of shows that you watch. I see here within the youth that you still have so much to experience and learn and give, and so much that's coming towards you where you add youthful, fun, kind of spunky energy into the mix. I also want you to know here within the youth that you have a lot to learn, and following your instinct is great. Also, adding a canine companion into your life, or just focusing a lot on one that's already there, reading them, how they react when the weather changes, when they're in pain, when they're in discomfort, what they do, how they handle the situation, how their instinct guides them. I see a lot of inspiration that can come from animals for you, group number 2, and you're maybe also naturally someone who gets along really well with animals, maybe jokingly, sometimes even better with animals than with other human beings. And that is where I can see that you have a little superpower where working with animals at a young age can turn you into a very world-renowned person when it comes to this career. So, for example, working with animals, as in, for example, competing with dogs. There are a lot of competitions you can do, such as agility, frisbee throwing. It could also be becoming a vet, becoming a carer of dogs, and having a world-renowned practice or a world-renowned dog or cat hotel. Just as an example, maybe you are really great with reptiles or with other types of animals, with amphibia, and creating amazing living spaces for them, terrariums and aquariums. These are all areas in which you would excel way more than you ever thought possible, because you're surrounded by really great energy. And I see here within the 4 of cups, the 4 of water, that this gives you time for self-reflection, and you need that to be an amazing person and an amazing partner. When you don't have time for you, group number 2, things get ugly and bad because you feel tense on the inside. You feel like you don't have time for the things that you really need. You feel like you need some time out from the world, but it's not being given to you. And when you've got a lot of this sort of pressure, that's when resentment builds. And that's why it's so important that you're with somebody who doesn't have too big of a friend circle where they're inviting someone over to your joint home like every day. You definitely need someone who's more of an introvert, more of an introspective personality on the calmer side, who brings some fun energy into the relationship, but not to the point that it is encroaching on the things that you love and the things that are important to you. Next up, we've got the goddess. So a very clear message is, of course, that you're a goddess or a god. Group number 2, you are beautiful from the inside out, and you bring extraordinary energy to the table and to everything that you do. You're celebrated by many. A lot of people are in awe of your strength, your personality, and just the vibe that you give off. And I want you to know here that when it comes to your romantic life's inevitable destiny, you are always meant to be someone who is loved and seen as a huge prize. It's like it's a big achievement or something to be very proud of to be with you. And group 2, I don't want you saying that you don't feel that way and it's not true. This is what the cards are saying. Whether you feel like that or not, that is a completely different reading, but I want you to know here that you are a huge prize to whoever is meant to be with you. And I want you to kind of exude that energy, group number 2, because if not now, then when, right? Enjoy the fact that you are loved, that you're wanted, that you're seen as someone that another person can be proud to be with. I see here within Wise that also when it comes to the inevitable future of your romantic life, you are going to be the type of person that people come to for advice all the time, because you're so wise and you're meant to be in a connection that lasts decades or even a lifetime. So a lot of people come to you and ask you How do you do it all? How do you keep yourself together physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, when it comes to your family, making time for them, and, killing it at your workplace? You're kind of giving off that superhuman, superwoman, superman kind of vibe, group number 2. And this is who you're meant to be in your romantic life. Your romantic life is one part, which you're doing very well, but you've also got a lot of other areas of your life that you aren't neglecting, but that are actually being complemented by your romantic life. Now, let's add a few letters to your person's name so we can see precisely what your person's name might be that you will end up with. So let's see what the universe has for us. We've got F-R-T-O. Yes, it almost spells tarot, and you're definitely going to be able to connect through spirituality and tarot in your romantic life. I see that inevitably this will always be a part of your life or your romantic destiny, to come back and connect with spirit, maybe even have sessions with your partner where you're connecting with ancestors, deceased loved ones, just overall strengthening your bond in the unseen realm as well, on a very advanced kind of level. So my gorgeous souls of group number 2, we had a very deep, very meaningful reading for you, which I hope that you enjoyed. Please do leave an owl emoji below. That way me and others know that you belong to group number 2, because that's the only way that we would know this. And of course, don't forget to check out my tarot reader course. Sometimes I even offer personal readings, and my Patreon, of course, where you have the opportunity to even win a personal reading by me, as long as you're, of course, a Patreon. And there's a lot of more in-depth, very raw, real content on there where I connect with spirit and your guides in a way that is censored on this part of the internet, but is very free to do on a platform such as Patreon. So all of my beautiful souls of group 2, thank you so much for being here, for spending this divine time and space with me. I'm sending you so much love, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your prediction about your romantic life's inevitable destiny. Now, you chose the Wandering Star Tarot to help guide you. My name's Vanessa Somuayina. I am a psychic, tarot reader, and author of various tarot and oracle decks, and today I will be guiding you through your reading. So all you need to do is lean back, relax, and enjoy. Now, the Wandering Star Tarot deck is actually a deck that is authored in German, but I will of course translate for you. As you guys know, I am from Switzerland, so that's going to be no problem. First up, we've got Der Wagen, which is the Chariot. In the tarot, the Chariot means forward movement. It means allocating all of your resources and time and energy to a specific cause, focusing on what you want to accomplish and going for it, not allowing for any distractions to come in between. So relating that to your romantic life's destiny, I can see that there will be a lot of traveling, a lot of growth, a lot of forward movement with the person you decide to be with, and you are going to be in the driver's seat. You're going to be saying where you're going, how quickly you're moving, what direction you're moving into. You are going to travel the world, and there's going to be a lot of success along the way. You're going to grow as a person, and I can see here that your romantic life's inevitable destiny is going to bring you to a lot of enlightenment and maturity. Next up, we have Der Narr, which is the Fool. Now, the Fool is the first card of the tarot in the major arcana that corresponds to the number 0. And as you can see, the Fool is so close to falling, to maybe even hurting themselves fatally, but they are blissfully unaware of this. And the Fool is actually a representation of you starting a completely new chapter in your romantic life. So trying something new, such as marriage, such as children, such as running a business with the person you are with. And I can see that there are just so many firsts on your journey in your romantic life, where it feels to you like you all the time don't really know what you're doing because it's a first, but nevertheless you're excited and it's kind of a fun ride. Next in the Liebenden, we've got the Lovers. So out of 78 cards that you received, the Lovers right at the beginning of your reading, group number 3, definitely shows that your romantic life's inevitable destiny is definitely to be with somebody who loves you, who adores you, who holds you tight like we have depicted here. And don't feel as though this has to represent your love life. You can be attracted to whoever you want to be attracted to. You guys know my space here on YouTube, my channel is LGBTQ plus friend. What is LDBQ? You understand what I'm trying to say, group number 3. Sometimes I don't find the right words, but basically my channel is for any kind of sensual orientation, for any type of religious, non-religious background. Just know here that this represents you being in a harmonious relationship, your destiny being with someone who loves you, whose love language is possibly even physical touch, and feeling like you have truly found the one, like your love life is really giving you a lot of strength. Next up, we've got das As der Kelche. Now, this is the Ace of Cups, which shows new romantic beginnings that are peaceful ones, because the Ace always means a new beginning. It always stands for that. In case you're learning tarot and you're not in my tarot reader class, this is just a little tip for you. And we've also got the Dove here, which shows a very peaceful, chill beginning of a relationship. So being on the same page with a lover, with someone who just gets you, and not feeling the need to over explain with this person. Next up, we've got the Drei der Kelche, which is the 3 of Cups, which shows you having a great time with friends and family and acquaintances as well. You are very close to the people with whom you have platonic relationships, and I want you to know that for your romantic life's destiny, this is great, because having a balance between friends, family, and a lover makes for a very healthy relationship, because you also have some other exchanges outside of your romantic relationship, alleviating the pressure from your partner, so they don't feel like they always have to be listening, and vice versa. So you don't feel like you are always the one who's taking care of them. So a lot of friends, family, and just overall connecting with people outside of the romantic sphere helps your romantic relationship immensely, and it helps it grow and thrive. I'm getting this message here with the Chariot that you're also going to get married pretty quickly and engaged pretty quickly, because it just feels so right, and you have the support of your friends and family to be with this person, even if here in the Ace of Cups the relationship is relatively new and relatively still in the beginning phases. I see here within the 4 of Swords that you will also feel more tired than usual. Maybe it's because you are feeling very excited, or you're doing a lot of physical activities with your person, if you know what I mean, group number 3, and just overall needing some rest and some time to think and recuperate is normal, especially if things are moving forth pretty quickly or faster than you are even used to. So know here within the 4 of Swords that taking some mental breaks out in the nature can really help you to ground yourself and remind yourself where you're going with this romantic relationship. Now, the King of Pentacles shows me what type of person you'll be with, group number 3. The person you'll be with is the King of Earth, basically, as the suit of Pentacles corresponds to the element of Earth. They are most likely older than you. They come from an affluent background. They're always dressed really well. They take pride in their appearance, but also their etiquette. And when it comes to finances, when it comes to their job, they are killing it, and they may be very stingy and a little bit like a crook when it comes to business to the outer world, but when it comes to your relationship, you're on the same page, and they just want what's best for you and them and the relationship. But when they mean business, and they're not playing around, and they're not going to spare anyone. They will negotiate down to the last penny just to have a little bit of extra money made for the family, for you, for those they care about. So they're pretty ruthless with strangers. I see here within the Seven of Swords that you are meant to be with this person who really is a little skeptical of anyone who they meet because they're a pretty shrewd business person. They only trust very few, and they always have this healthy amount of like skepticism when it comes to new friends and just new people in general. They also don't like when there are too many new people around you because they're always asking themselves if there are any ulterior motives, if there's any reason to feel concerned, or if there's anything they're not 100% happy about with any connection. And group number 3, your person is just a very protective individual. They want the best for you at all times. Next up, we've got there's something better. So inevitably, your romantic life and destiny is going to revolve around a relationship where you know there's something better out there for you, then you leave them, then you find the one. That's how your story is going to go, group number 3. You're going to be in a situationship or a relationship where just in your gut, you constantly feel like this can't be it. There must be something better, especially in those moments where your person hurts you, they make promises that they don't keep, or they don't show you the love that you need, desire, and deserve. You sit quietly there, or you're kind of up at night while they're already next to you, falling asleep. And it's so funny how people who do you so wrong can sleep so soundly and so quickly. Meanwhile, you're still like lying awake, stressing out, overthinking, not feeling great. How can people just sleep calmly next to another person who is clearly unhappy, clearly overthinking, where they could clearly make that person feel better, but they just decide not to and they just go to sleep? If that has ever happened to you, group number 3, trust me, it is not it. There is something better out there. There is someone out there who will not allow you to go to bed like that, who will not even make you feel like that to begin with, let alone sleep like that. And it's important that you find forgiveness, not just for someone who did you dirty, but also for the fact that you didn't move on sooner. Because sometimes when we are in these relationships or situationships where our gut feeling and our instinct is telling us there's something better, but we don't stop it, or we don't kind of make sure that we break up with them until way later and we let it go on for too long, we can feel guilt about that. And that's where you have to forgive yourself and remind yourself of the fact that like you make mistakes as well. All you did was trust someone who maybe even made themselves out to be something that they're not, and trust is the foundation of any healthy relationship, and you were just trying to do that. Never find fault in yourself for having tried to do your best with another person, even if it doesn't work out. It just shows your intention, and it shows for your next relationship where you can maybe watch out a little more, but that you have the capacity to even be in a healthy, committed relationship because you're capable of trusting. And that's something that a lot of people are not capable of. And group number 3, we spoke about how you will be in a situationship or relationship where you know there's something better, and then you will find the one. Then you will have your inevitable destiny here with the King of Pentacles, which is a Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo, a very practical, loyal, grounded person. They are the type of person who is, in a way, dependable, also maybe sometimes a little hard to convince, but trust me, they are out there, the right person for you, but you have to believe, and you have to believe to the point where you're okay with breaking up with someone who makes you feel like there's something better out there, or like you should be treated better, but somehow they are not doing it. Never beg someone who isn't treating you right to change their ways, because you don't want that to come from you asking. It should come naturally, because whenever you have to ask and plead and beg for something like this, it doesn't last. Trust me, this comes from someone who knows, group number 3. I mean, but for me, it was clear because it would last for literally like 2 minutes, if even, and then it would change again. So even if it lasts for a week, a month, trust me, and when you have to tell someone to be better, to not hurt you, that is like the beginning of the end. And I see here within determined that for your romantic life's inevitable destiny, you need a partner who is just as determined as you, who sees the path forward, who sees the future as something bright, something to get excited about, something that is filled with opportunity, hope, and amazing prospects. And we've also got the number 6 here, which numerologically speaking is the number of family, of close bonds, and also of victory. So you are meant to be with someone who is on the same page as you are mentally. And unappreciated, that's where we're talking again about the situation that you're in that you must free yourself from. Unappreciated and feeling like there's something better, like this is just not actually a reflection of your value as a person. If you've been in that kind of relationship or situationship, or you currently are, this is your sign, group number 3, to get out. It will not get better. Trust me. I've been in your shoes. I've thought that it would get better. I've tried everything. And people who are predestined to lie, to deceive, do things behind your back, they will continue to do so. And asking them not to will often just lead to them finding more kind of creative ways to do it anyways, because if they really wanted to, they would either ask for help if they have an issue and they cannot stop, or they would have just plain and simple stopped and made you feel appreciated. Next up, well, I can't say this here on YouTube. I think it is censored, but you can see. Now, group number 3, I want you to know here that when it comes to neglect, when it comes to just feeling mistreated, if it is safe for you to do so, and it's not always safe for every situation, depending whom you're dealing with, just leave. You shouldn't feel emotionally like someone is doing you wrong or doing you dirty, the person who should be closest to you. And you, of course, shouldn't feel physically unsafe. So if you can, which I understand isn't always possible for everyone or in every situation, but try to find a way out if you constantly are being gaslit or even physically pushed around, harmed or hurt. You need to see this as a sign there is something better. Not only do you deserve better, but there is better, and it's just around the corner for you. But you must first leave anything that is holding you back from finding your happiness and finding your love. I see here within the 5 of Cups that, funny enough, as human beings, and I'm not exempt from this, I know how it feels when we're in relationships that are toxic or aren't meant to be or are not really appreciating us as human beings. We somehow can still tend to miss these relationships or to feel bad when they're not around anymore. We kind of feel as though we've lost something. And sometimes we just get so used to these toxic environments and partners that we forget what it's like to be in a healthy relationship with someone who is actually mature, who cares, who doesn't want to hurt us, that we almost sometimes can miss the drama. That's where you've got to call yourself out, group number 3, and be determined to change that. Be determined to not see healthy relationships as something strange and not see it as, oh, I'm not deserving of this. This person is too nice or anything like that. In the 4 of Pentacles, I see here that you've spent enough time being kind of humble, being very down to earth, which these are all great traits. But sometimes you can also just brag a little bit about yourself and your accomplishments. You can give yourself a pat on the back. You can say how proud you are of the things that you've achieved in this lifetime, group number 3. It's fine. It's not actually bragging. It's just acknowledging yourself. It's acknowledging the fact that you've put a lot of effort into certain areas of your life, and these are worth celebrating, and these are worth you seeing them with a lot of pride, a lot of gratitude, and a lot of this feeling of just happiness, of being very loving towards yourself. Now, the King of Cups does show an interest in you, so you are inevitably meant to be pursued by the King of Cups as well. So you have choices when it comes to romantic lovers. Group number 3, you are someone who is sought after, romantically speaking. We have a few more cards that popped out of the pile. So for example, here we've got a repetition of the Chariot. So things moving forward very quickly. We had this in the deck that you chose, the Wandering Star Tarot. I'll put this right over here. Then we've got the Judgment card, which is definitely showing us here that it's important that you remain kind to yourself, that you don't push yourself past your limits. We've got the Lovers again, which is a repeat card of what we received here at the start of your reading, which is basically the universe and your guides reiterating that you're meant to be in a mutually beneficial and respectful romantic relationship. And here within the Two of Crystals, we will go into a little bit more detail. I'm just explaining the cards on the surface to you, group number 3. Here in this gorgeous Two of Crystals card with this, I just love all the details on the Stark Heart Tarot deck. By the way, the link is below. This is my tarot deck that I designed, created, self-published. So if you want to support a self-published author, a YouTuber, and intuitive, then make sure that you check out my link in the description box of this deck. But here within the Two of Crystals, bear in mind that when it comes to your creative approaches, just go for the best ideas, because you will have so many great ideas of what to do in your life, from the romantic aspect to the business aspect to your mental health aspect. Go with whichever idea just resonates most with you. If you feel like you want to get into therapy with someone before you're married, before there are any issues, just to work out some kinks in your communication, speak about it, do it. Don't judge yourself. Like we spoke about here in the Judgment card, don't be so hard on yourself or the relationship. Bear in mind that especially the older you get, the more people are kind of set in their ways or have developed a personality, and there will have to be a little bit of compromising, of finding one another in many relationships. I mean, even for me, group number 3, I find in my personal life that the older I get, the more I'm realizing that I, and also those around me who are in a similar age or even a little older than I am, the more we progress, the more we can tend to be rigid in our ways and set in our ways. But if you're aware of that, then you can still stay young and youthful and kind of question why you have certain beliefs and maybe be open to new ways of thinking. And the same goes for speaking to a partner about just pursuing, for example, therapy together, reading books together, working out together, eating healthily together. Bear in mind here that sometimes it can feel a little awkward to bring it up or to be the one who's pushing it, but do know here that you are meant to be in a relationship where you build with openness, kindness, and respect. And all of these unappreciated and kind of scary topics are a thing of the past for you, group number 3. So especially if this resonates, if this hits a nerve for you, I want you to know that if you've been looking for a sign of whether you will actually be in a healthy, loving, caring relationship, you will, group number 3. And all you need to do is allow it to happen and extract yourself from any unloving relationship that makes you feel unappreciated, because that's not your destiny, romantically speaking. That's not what you deserve, and you've got better coming for you. So my gorgeous souls of group number 3, this is the reading that I received for you, which I truly hope that you enjoyed and found helpful and insightful. Please do leave a little money bag emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here, you watched your reading all the way to the end, and that you enjoyed it. Furthermore, all the other links are in the description box to my free downloadable PDFs on my website, my Patreon with exclusive, more in-depth readings with topics that are kind of taboo here on YouTube, and lots of other little tidbits like the decks that I used here. So my gorgeous souls of group 3, know that I'm sending you so much love wherever you are in this world, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello group number 4, and welcome to your psychic tarot reading about your romantic life's inevitable destiny. My name is Vanessa Somuayina. I am a tarot reader, the author of various tarot and oracle decks, and I will be guiding you through this reading and channeling your messages, first using the Shamanic Medicine Oracle cards, which you chose, but then of course also bringing other decks into the mix so we can receive a reading that is as accurate and personal as possible for you, group number 4. So let's get into it. First up, we've got insects. Group 4, if you have been seeing a lot of insects or there have just been a lot of creepy crawlies around you, be grateful for them, because actually what they are representative of is the fact that you're supported by your guides, your past loved ones, your ancestors, and even when it comes to your romantic life, you will be supported in picking the right partner, not just by your instinct and intuition, but also quite literally by your guides and the people around you. So romantically speaking, you will always have everyone's full support, whether relationships work out or not. And those closest to you genuinely looking out for your best interest and ensuring that you are always in a healthy spot. Here within the journey, I want you to know that your relationship life is going to be as you imagine. So group 4, if you imagine your love life right now and the destiny of your love life, just picture that for a moment. What are you thinking of? What kind of person are you with? Where do you live? How are you looking at that person? How do you look? Are there any children, any pets? Do you live in a house or an apartment? By the beach, the forest, in a city, maybe the desert? I want you to know here within the journey that your romantic life is going to be a journey. It is going to be a journey of figuring out where you will end up living, possibly also living in a different part of the world, figuring out how you want to create your life with another human being, all based off of both your imaginations and with the support and help and friends and family, maybe even financial support from parents if there is a certain home that you really want to purchase and they want to make sure that you don't have to pass up. Here within plant medicine, I can see a lot of truth that comes from your romantic life. The person you will end up being with is like the only person that can fully 100% tell you the truth. You might quite literally actually engage in some plant medicine with them. Think, for example, ayahuasca, but there are also simpler plant medicines, and by simpler, I mean less intense ones that you can use. Even just drinking, for example, a peppermint tea or a nettle tea, I mean, that is already plant medicine. Eating salads, healthy leafy greens, some vegetarian, vegan meals, that is a lot of plant medicine right there for you that you will indulge in, not just by yourself, but also with whoever you end up with. So don't be surprised if they are vegetarian or vegan. Don't be surprised if you actually end up changing your diet completely with the romantic partner you end up with. I can see within Determined that both you and the person that you will be with are very hardworking. You are determined to be successful, to create a life that you are both proud of, and you see the path ahead of you. You follow your instinct, you communicate with one another, you're close to your friends and your family with this person, and I see here within tantric that actually also your sensual experiences are wild with this person. It is not even close to the norm or what you've ever experienced before. This is like the best you've ever had when it comes to being behind closed doors together. I want you to know that your romantic life's inevitable destiny is to be with somebody who makes you very excited, who makes you want to just like jump them and stay within the sheets the entire day, is what I meant to say. So, by the way, follow me on Patreon because there's more kind of real raw content that's going on there so that we can just be a bit more open, because you guys know censorship and all of these things on the internet and on YouTube specifically is very real. And Patreon is a little bit more open when it comes to that. Well, basically you can do whatever you want on there. Link to that is below in the description box, and I'm also engaging with a way smaller audience there, so you know that you will get more personal feedback and maybe even a chance to receive a personal reading by me. Here within the Oracle, I want you to know that your romantic life is destined to be advised and led by oracles, maybe even oracle cards. Tarot is another one. And overall, it is going to journey through a lot of spiritual awakenings and findings. Here within receptive, know that you're going to grow so much when it comes to your preferences that you have with romantic partners because of how open that you are. At one point, you maybe thought that you only liked one type of person physically, for example, like they had to be tall or they had to have dark hair or blue eyes, whatever it is. I want you to know here that you are becoming more and more receptive to just being open-minded about people, their preferences, and also being with them sensually. And I want you to know that your romantic life's inevitable destiny is that you will end up with someone that you never expected you would be with, maybe even the type of person that you told yourself you never wanted to end up with in the past, but in the end it happens to you. And it actually ends up being like the best thing you've ever experienced and the best thing that could have ever happened to you. So maybe you had stereotypes of certain religious backgrounds, certain ethnic backgrounds, people who live in certain parts of town or of the world, but some individual is going to change that completely, and that's going to be your future partner. That's going to be the person you end up with long term. Next up, we've got the Four of Pentacles. So congratulate yourself for the fact that whoever you end up with, you are building financial security and stability with one another. None of you spend money frivolously, and you both take this very seriously. And the Four of Pentacles definitely does show that you are sometimes maybe even a little cheap with yourself, where you need a partner to remind you, hey, you've worked hard for this money, or you've worked hard to be able to kind of spoil yourself a little bit. So don't be afraid to do that. Now, next up, within the Two of Swords, I can see that your eyes are kind of like blindfolded and your arms are crossed. You have decisions to make, as the Suit of Swords corresponds to your mental realm. And you're just kind of sitting here complacent for the moment because you feel like your eyes are blindfolded, which means you can't see. So you don't know what direction to go in. And what happens then is you end up being kind of complacent. Having this card show up within your reading is like a wake-up call for you, group number 4. If you needed a serious divine push forward to make choices, to be unafraid to say how you feel, and also to put yourself out there, this is your sign. Whether that's creating a profile for online dating or leaving a situationship that is toxic where you are left feeling unappreciated, you have to take the necessary steps forward if you want there to be change. I see here within the Two of Wands that rather than overthinking and then staying complacent, you are being asked to just go with whatever makes your heart kind of skip a beat and makes you feel more excited. If right now you're in a situationship where you just feel like the other person doesn't care that much, just open the door and leave, or let them leave. Especially if someone keeps threatening you that they will go, let them go. I see within the Two of Wands that there's also this kind of duality. You need the side of you that is very sensitive and sometimes gives too many chances to people. You need that in order to unlock the side of you that can give that to the right person. We've got the key and the lock. So it can be challenging when you are too kind, open, and caring to the wrong individuals, or individuals that were just not made for you. But it can also be a beautiful thing when you've got someone by your side whom you can trust and who is truly deserving of all that you have to give. Now, the Five of Swords shows me that your romantic life's inevitable destiny is to weed out the people who are only around when things are going well, or who find it too difficult to just take a little bit of time to understand you and listen to you. The Five of Swords shows that communication is the most important thing, and you are not going to compromise on that. We've got the Ten of Crystals, which does show that you've always had a lot of weight on your shoulders. You've always done a lot for other people, especially maybe you're even the oldest sibling and you've had to take care of younger siblings for whatever reason, because your parents weren't there, weren't qualified, didn't try enough. one thing about the Ten of Crystals is also that when it comes to taking care of yourself and work responsibilities, you've got a lot on your plate, whether you are trying to run your own business and create a abundant life for yourself, or you are working a corporate job. I see here in the Ten of Crystals that the pressure gets so big to the point that you just need to take some steps back and remind yourself here that you also need time for your romantic life, for family planning, if that's even in the picture, for a partner who cares about you, who's there for you, and who deserves to also have a little piece of you before you're tired and drained. So the Ten of Crystals is also a little bit of a wake-up call by the universe and your guides to make time for you, make time to relax, make time to recuperate and regain your strength. And sooner than you know, here within the World card, we've got ultimate fulfillment. That is what the World stands for having everything and wanting nothing, for having this structure in your life that allows you to just feel accomplished and feel completely fulfilled. And this structure could be, for example, just having a plan of what happens every week or every weekend with the person you end up with, romantically speaking. This structure can also just mean every single morning you get up and you read, you take time for yourself, you have a smoothie, you exercise, or you meditate. Whatever it is that suits you the best. I want you to know here in the Four of Pentacles, we've got a repeat card. The Four of Pentacles showing up twice does definitely show that there is a very cost-conscious side to you. The Four of Pentacles shows that it's important to sometimes loosen up on that. You're sometimes even a little too hard on yourself. You may even give nieces, nephews, families the best things, and then for yourself, you kind of keep everything that's mediocre because you just don't feel worthy enough, or you always, when it comes to yourself, think, well, I don't need that much. And here in the Two of Crystals, know that you have to start to decide, do you have these self-deprecating thoughts and actions that are floating around and happening, that actually every time you deny yourself of something nice that you would do for someone else, reiterating to yourself that you're not deserving or worthy of whatever it is that this amazing, beautiful thing represents. And the Two of Crystals shows that rather than always making that choice of saying, well, you don't need it or you have everything that you need, then have more. Fill your cup till it runs over, group number 4. You get to do that sometimes too, not just other people. Now, the Seven of Pentacles does show that when it comes to your romantic life's inevitable destiny, flowers are going to play an important role, and flowers that are cut that you receive frequently from a romantic partner. If you're seeing someone and they are not purchasing you flowers, they are not bringing you any floral decor, group 4, that is probably not who you are destined to be with, because I definitely see in the Seven of Pentacles that your person will always have you stocked up with fresh flowers, unless if you're going on vacation or on a trip. And here within the Five of Blades, it's because sometimes they struggle to really put in words how they feel about you. So instead, they like to purchase gifts for you. Their love language may also be gift giving. So that is something that comes naturally to them, and they never feel any resentment or anything. They actually really like to do that. It's something that just makes them feel happy. Here within the Knight of Crystals, we have your person revealed at least a little bit. The Knight of Crystals shows someone who is determined, who's a little wild, right? Who knows what they want and they're going for it. A lot of movement. And the Suit of Crystals corresponds to the element of fire, because actually here the Suit of Crystals represents the Suit of Wands in the traditional tarot, but this is my tarot deck, the Dark Heart Tarot that I authored, and that should be released anytime soon of the moment of me publishing this video. But the link to this deck is below in the description box in case you're interested. The quality is phenomenal. You can see the color payoff, and of course all of the gold details. Let me just show you. Actually, when the cards are in order, you get this really beautiful pattern here on the side, and of course all of the card backs have these beautiful gold details, and all of the card fronts have them as well. The cardstock is made of beautiful, super, super high quality materials, and these cards will last you for years. I promise you, these cards are really of supreme quality. They all ship from Switzerland, from Bow Life's warehouse here, which is basically my warehouse, group number 4. So if you're interested in these cards, the link is below in the description box, but because so many were already sold during pre-orders, I don't really know how many copies I have left, so if there are some left, you know where to find it below. Otherwise, there will most likely be a reprint, so don't panic if you're not able to snatch a copy this time. So let's move further into your prediction. We had the Knight of Crystals, and then we also have the Eight of Pentacles. So your person takes action. They want to build a career and a future that they can be proud of, and that you can also be proud of when it comes to them, that you feel like they are the type of person who will protect you and be there for you. They've got a lot of masculine energy, and I want to see what some letters within your person's name are. Okay, so we've got V-U-I or V-I-U. I'll just put your letters down here for you. So these are the important letters within their name. I also want to see if we can get a astrological reference for your person. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, so I'll start off over here when it comes to the planetary placements. Let's just zoom in for you. Okay, so here we've got Uranus, and then within this other die that we have here, we've actually got Virgo for you. So these are some interesting pieces of information, as Virgo is very analytical, someone who is very detail oriented. And I want you to know that Uranus placements are placements of the unusual and unexpected. They are the placements that show how someone is very unique and individual. So your person, group number 4, will not expect that. On one hand, they are kind of all over the place, a huge go-getter, a bit of a daredevil, and then on the other hand, they're very analytical and organized and neat. I also want to roll a die to figure out what the age gap is between you and your person. Okay, so we've got just 1 year for you, all of my beautiful souls of group number 4. So you're relatively close in age with this person, which makes a lot of sense because the Knight is usually someone who is young or around your age. So I also just want to use a couple runes to figure out if there are any other messages. So let's see what Spirit has to say. I will intuitively pick a rune for you that I feel represents something about your person, and we've got Dagas. Now, what this means about your person and your romantic life's inevitable destiny is that this will bring a breakthrough. Being in this relationship will be like an epiphany, like an aha moment that makes you realize, like, wow, there are really good, supportive relationships out here. There are really people out here who just want the best for me, and who want to be with me, for me, to build with me, to be determined with where I'm going, to be determined about where they're going. So group 4, your romantic life's inevitable destiny is to feel surprised, to constantly feel like there are breakthroughs and moments like we've got here within the Hanged Man, where you see things from a perspective that you've never looked at things before from, and it is refreshing. It makes you feel like there is so much goodness in this world and so many amazing people. The 6 of Coins here shows me that you will build a stable home and family life that will allow you to like enjoy kids and your parents and extended family, because your home is neatly organized, it is in good shape, and your bills are paid as well. That is what I see here in the 6 of Coins, that not only brings joy and stability, but also gives you more time to spend with others. Here within the Lovers, beware of the fact that your romantic life is going to be sought after, as in other people wishing they had the same, maybe even trying to flirt with you or your partner, and kind of almost try to interfere, not necessarily purposely, but you know, when people see that you're really thriving romantically and in your relationship, they can feel like they want that too, or even feel a sense of jealousy when they see you, and It is important that you're very careful because sometimes here, as we've gotten the Five of Batons, it can feel like there are people who want to challenge your happiness or kind of compete with it. Like when you show that you've just purchased a beautiful home or you're in a happy relationship, they need to show that something amazing is going on in their life too. It's like there are some people who can't just let you have the spotlight for a moment, and that is where you have to just remind yourself that it's best to ignore, to stay out of that person's way, and to focus on all the goodness in your life, because your time to shine will come when you're not around people who don't know how to allow that to happen. And do bear in mind here that ultimately your romantic life is meant to be extremely fulfilling. We have that here within the World card. It's meant to give you everything that you need. So you will not need any type of reassurance from the external plane. You will not need to fight for someone's acceptance who doesn't want to accept you or who is making it extra hard. You will have everything that you need from this relationship, from also platonic relationships that are so fulfilling, such as friendships and connections with your family, that there's really nothing to worry about for you when it comes to just friends who feel like they're in competition with you, or people who want a little piece of the cake that you've baked for yourself. But it makes sense, group number 4, because when you've built something amazing or created a life that others are envious of course you need to, in a way, protect it and keep it as private as you possibly can. So group number 4, these are the messages that I received about your romantic life's inevitable destiny. I hope that you enjoyed these messages and found them insightful. Don't forget to leave a butterfly emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here, that you received your reading, and that you're part of group 4, because that's the only way that you would know to leave this butterfly emoji below in the comment section. But of course, feel free to also just let me know how you liked it. Now, group 4, thank you so much for being here, for spending this divine time and space with me. Wherever you are in this world, I'm wishing you an amazing day or night, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming readings.